Привіт, I'm Chuck Olinik, a Ukrainian-American baptized with the name Yaroslav. That's also the name I use in the Society for Creative Anachronism, where I'm known as Yaroslav the Persistent, or Yari. I've been putting together videos on Slavic folklore and mythology and culture, and I've ended up finding a bunch of Slavic proverbs, which I just thought happened to be really cool, and it'd be really neat to hear people doing an Eastern European persona and sprinkling some of these into their speech just to add to the vibe. So I've done a number of these videos on the topic of Proverbs, and since it is New Year's Day, let's start with some winter ones. December is the month of where the old griefs end and the new year lays the path for new happiness. It's so cold the birds are freezing in midair. Cold in which even wolves freeze. Winter has a big belly. Fix your cart in the winter and your sled in the summer. Well, we got a bunch about fire. Fire begins with sparks. Keep fire away from straw. Being between two fires. There is no smoke without fire. Do not play with fire or you will burn yourself. A little spark may cause a big fire. Extinguish the spark before the house is on fire. Deflect the trouble before it strikes. Okay, here's a couple more fire ones. Forge iron while it's hot. Okay, that's pretty common. A thief's hat is burning. English version. Liar, liar, pants on fire. This is written with a pitchfork on flowing water. I doubt it's gonna happen. I'd like to drink honey with your lips. This sounds too good to be true. A clever speaker is pleasant to listen to. If you call yourself a milk mushroom, get in the basket. Basically, if you make a claim, back it up. The tale is told quickly. The job is done slowly. Spoken word is not a sparrow. Once it flies out, you can't catch it. Let's get into a little bit of law and justice, or law and order. God marks the crook. And that was traditionally, once you were caught, you'd get your one ear cut off in like the town square so that everyone knew what kind of a person you were. A thief stole another thief's club. If you can steal, be able to be responsible for it. Hands wash each other. A thief covers another thief. Once you've told a lie, you've become a liar forever. There are many lies, but barely one truth. You cannot hide an awl in a sack. The truth will always be discovered. I'm not me, this horse isn't mine, and I'm not a cabman. The moral being, I'm denying your accusations. Don't talk about ropes in the home of the hanged person. Even the sword doesn't cut the head of the one who confesses. After taking off the head, one doesn't bewail the hair. This next part is about knowing when to speak and when to shut up. About what I'm silent. And it's basically an idea of, I want to talk about this, but I can't. And I'm hearing other people talk about, I wish they'd just shut up. There is some secret. And there's something that just can't be revealed. Words are silver. Silence, that's golden. Rope is good when it's long. Speech is good when it's short. You can't throw a handkerchief over somebody's mouth, meaning you can't shut other people up. Bragging is unlike mowing. You won't make your back ache. So there's talking, and then there's actually doing the work. Okay. Your tongue can get you all the way to Kiev. Yeah. Ask for directions, you'll be able to get there. This one I know very personally. My tongue is enemy mine, as it usually talks before I think. You can get farther with a friendly word than a club. And then this last one here is really interesting. This story happened long ago and isn't true, and it's usually a joke to dismiss a reminder of an actual event that was either dishonorable or was really unpleasant. That, Grandma, is Yuri's Day. Okay. Cultural background: on St. Yuri's Day, or St. George's Day, November 26th, peasants were allowed to move from one owner to another at their own will. So they were able to leave the fiefdom. In the 1590s, this right was put on hold, and in 1649 it got canceled completely. Obviously, the peasants waiting for their Freedom Day weren't quite happy when that was announced. The moral? What an unpleasant surprise. Well, the Slavs also seem to be into the number 7, sort of a Sesame Street thing. So, measure 7 times before cutting once. We won't do it 5 more times than everybody else. Obviously, people must have been in my shop. 7 nannies make a kid not looked after. Right? Too many cooks. Right? 7 people don't wait for one. No, don't be late. 7 troubles, 1 response. The English version, you may as well get being hanged for a sheep as for being a lamb. 7 versts to heaven and all the way through the forest. A verst is like a kilometer. Right? 7 axes lie together and 2 distaves apart. Let's turn to some nautical stuff. For a big ship, a big voyage. Who wasn't out in the sea didn't pray to God. And there's one that kind of goes with it of pray to God but keep rowing towards shore. There are no bad ships or winds, there are bad captains. To wait for the weather from the sea, that's basically to let the grass grow under your feet. And there's always the idea of a drop in the sea, which is like nothing. Okay, we mentioned 1 drop. Like 2 drops of water, peas in a pod. They're very much alike. And since we're bringing up the number 2, 2 shoes or 2 boots make a pair. And there's an equivalent version in English of you're tarred with the same brush. Don't wade into a river without knowing a ford. Speak highly of the lake, but stay on the bank. No water flows under a lying stone. Basically, no pain, no gain. Eyes are afraid, but hands are doing the job. If it seems tough, just relax. Let your reflexes do the job. It'll get done. If you enjoy riding, you better enjoy pulling the sled. Do not spit into a well. It may be useful to drink water. A new broom sweeps in a new way. Out with the old, in with the new. And that seems like an appropriate place to stop on New Year's Day. Until the next time, do побачення.